You're listening to Background Noise.
Background noise?
Yeah, Background Noise.
Woo! Let's get this going. We're gonna mic check real quick. Welcome everybody. As you guys are settling in, getting your popcorn, right? Getting your little nice little snack to start the day, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Y'all see the second camera angle. You see me? Y'all see me right here? Then y'all see me right over here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to welcome back to my channel, but welcome to the very first episode of the Background Noise podcast. Now, this is the long-awaited, long-time coming podcast that I've been looking to do, like I said, for longer than y'all would think. I mean, I've started posting about it semi-recently, but, you know, in conceptualizing this idea, that started so long ago. So it's finally here, and I'm excited to be talking to you guys, right? Turn on the microphone to the world, turn on the microphone to the internet. That's what I'm going to be doing here. And I'm thankful for you guys for stopping by and for joining. So the idea behind this podcast, just to hit it a million miles an hour. I mean, I hit the ground running. Just so you guys know, I have my baby here because I have to have her here because I got to have my emotional support. Very first episode, you know, I got to have my girl here, which, by the way, y'all will definitely be seeing a lot of her. But I needed for this first episode to completely be by myself, to have no training wheels, although she's here. But the episode itself, I gotta hit the ground running, bro. I gotta do it. I gotta learn how to talk to myself, which if those of y'all that know me or hear me say this, you guys gonna be like, bro, like, come on, Doug, like, you talk a lot. But in reality, it's like once it goes to the camera, then I start to like overthink, and I live a lot in my head and not so much spoken word. So this is going to be a learning adventure for myself and for you guys too, because this podcast is going to cover a wide range of topics. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Dodgers, of the Lakers, of the Patriots. So, hey, man, I mean, when it comes to sports, your boy's blessed. What can I say? But I'm going to be talking a lot about my teams, as you know, as they are, you know, going through their seasons and stuff right now. Right now, as you guys are listening to this, Patriots doing pretty well in the playoffs. This is going to be posted the first Thursday of 2026. So that's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully the Patriots doing pretty well then. Right now, you know, we just got a pretty tough win. But anyways, I'm going to be talking a lot about sports, a lot about video games, just life. But what I'm most excited about to bring to you guys is just stories from real people, you know, real life people, of their real life stories, and just discovering, you know, the beauties of everyday life. That's kind of the mantra that I've kind of had in my mind, is just discovering the beauties of everyday life. So again, Background Noise podcast, a little bit about myself. My name is Steven. That's the name that I go by. And Steven Delgado. Damn, I don't know if I should say my full name, but it's already out there, so it is what it is, right? Steven Delgado. And I was born in Los Angeles, California. Actually born in LA County, for all them people out there that are like, oh, everyone claims LA, right? No, actually born there. And I was living there up until about, I'd say 10 years old, when I moved to Bakersfield, California. And I spent a majority of my time in Bakersfield. And then around 2021, I moved to Houston, Texas, which is where I reside now. And in my life, majority of my life has been around church, has been around music. And I'm so grateful for that, because, you know, though things have ended in a weird way, not like things ended with church, but I'm just saying, like, my personal journey. I mean, we'll get into these stories as we go along, but I'm just grateful for the experience that I've had with music, specifically, not the church part. I don't want to get first episode all controversial and stuff. You know what I mean? No. But like the music aspect of it. I mean, I remember when I was little learning the trumpet. And that was something that happened outside of church. Actually, that happened in the fourth grade in elementary school. Our school didn't have a band, and I remember the new band teacher came to the school and was like, "Bruh, she came and started playing all the instruments, and she's like, yeah, we were looking to open up the music department of this school, because we didn't have a band or anything like that. So she came in with all the instruments, started playing all of the instruments, and I was sitting there thinking, like, bro, this ain't it right here. This is kind of like, bro, this is kind of corny to me. I was a little kid. And then she said, hey, you know what? Like, for those of you guys that are going to actually participate and be in the band, you guys get to come out of class every day for 40 minutes. I said, say that one more time to me real quick. 40 minutes every day outside of class. Sign me up. So what your boy do? I went to tryouts. I went to the tryouts, and I remember that the only two instruments left were the trombone and the trumpet. In my head, I don't remember what I wanted the my instrument to be. Like, I want to say that I wanted it to be the saxophone, but I might be lying by saying that. I don't think I really remember what I wanted it to be. But from the two, the trombone and the trumpet, I was kind of like, bro, like the trombone, bro, like what are we doing, bro? Like that's not a cool instrument. The trumpet is the one that plays all the high notes, right? And I was like, I want to do the trumpet. And so we go, and then our first test, because we had like two tests. The first one was who can make the little buzzing sound that you need to do to play the trumpet. It's for those of you guys that don't know, it's that's literally what trumpet players are doing in the trumpet as they're playing. They're hitting you with the little, and so we had to sit there and try to like imitate that sound. And so that was the first test. Who can do it? Who can't do it? I was able to do it. And that kind of filtered out a bunch of folks. I think it was about like 13 of us kids that were like trying out for the last two instruments. And there was only 3 trumpet spots left and 2 trombone spots left. And so that filtered out a few people. And then from there, it was who can produce a sound on the trumpet, right? Doing that same thing. Now plugging the mouthpiece into the trumpet and actually producing a sound. And so long story short, your boy was selected to be in the band with the trumpet. I was stoked, bro. That was some of the funniest times ever in my life, bro. Like so much fun. We were pretty decent. We were a pretty good a group of trumpet players, but we would fool around a lot. But anyways, so that interest for the trumpet started there, you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because whenever I talk to people in the past, because I've traveled with the trumpet, I'm kind of like jumping the story real quick, but whenever I've talked to people, especially that like my trumpet playing has happened around church, a lot of people expect for my story to be a little bit more profound. Like, how did you come across the trumpet? Did you have a dream? Did someone, did God reveal to you that was the instrument that you were going to, use to whatever? No, like it was really to get out of class. You know what I mean? That's how that started. And so I remember, okay, cool. I got the spot, and that was fun. I was when we lived in LA, and I started playing trumpet with the school band. And then that next summer, what grade was that? I had like 4th grade. I said 3rd or 4th grade. Anyways, that next summer ish is when we moved to Bakersfield. So I was like, oh, well, I got to return the trumpet, and I mean, whatever, let's go. And going into Bakersfield in 5th grade was my first grade in Bakersfield. I don't know. It just wasn't in my mind to play the trumpet there. And so I'm like, all right, whatever. That's all right. I just doing, living regular school life. And then one of my best friends, he named Zach. Shout out to Zach if you're watching this. Zach Harris, cool dude. I don't know if I should be name dropping. I'm gonna have to learn that right quick if I'm supposed to be name dropping this thing, right? But it's a good story, bro. So we're not incriminating nobody. We'll get into those stories a little bit later in the party. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna, Anyways, so my friend Zach played saxophone for the school band, and we lived real close to each other. So we'd walk to school together and home from school together. And one day he's like, "Oh, dude, it was a Friday," and then they were able to leave their instruments at the school on the weekdays, but on the weekends they had to take it home. So we're about to walk home. He's like, "Oh, dude, I forgot my saxophone. I gotta go get it." And I was like, all right, whatever. And so I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll go with you." And so we went, and honestly, band. See, man, I'm going into a little rabbit hole, but this is what the podcast is for. Band folks, bro, in school. I mean, look, all the band folks, they get real like aggressive and mean, and like they feel like the football players are the bullies and jocks, when it's really the band people that are rude. We couldn't go into the band. We couldn't go into the room. Like, you weren't allowed in. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I'm sitting out there waiting for my homeboy. I'm like, man, F this. I'm going to go inside. So I walked inside knowing you're not supposed to be in the band room. And I'm like, I don't care. So I walk in, and my friends, he's over there, chopping up with some of his band friends. And I'm just kind of chilling, just looking around. It was a small little band room. And then all of a sudden I was like, man, dude, I remember I used to play the trumpet. That was cool. This is me in 5th grade. The band teacher comes swooping like Dracula. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, what'd you say? And I'm thinking, damn, I got caught being in the band room. I'm not even supposed to be here. He's like, what'd you say? I was like, I just said that I used to play the trumpet. And they're like, the band teacher's like, any interest in still playing that instrument? I said, damn, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. But you know what's crazy about that was that it left an impact on me, which I think is pretty interesting, because you'd have thought as a kid I'd have just dropped it, but I don't know. For some reason, it stuck with me to the point that I considered it, right? And I remember that weekend not doing anything about it. the week passes and nothing happened, right? Throughout that week, I didn't go back to the band room. I didn't talk to the band teacher, didn't see the band teacher. Nothing happened. I remember still thinking about it. And then the next weekend, I remember telling my parents about it. Like, hey, I think I want to join the band. Like, I think I want to do it. And what I love about that is that happened completely on my own, right? That wasn't something that was like forced onto me. It wasn't something that's like, my dad really wanted me to do, because my dad was doing music very heavily, especially at that time. But that one was completely for me. Like that interest came from me. But here's where things were a little different, was that like I knew that I would not have been able to do it if I didn't say these words. I said, hey pops, like if I learn the trumpet in school, I'm gonna be learning from school like the right way. I'm gonna learn how to read music, not no sight reading or like not hearing by ear and stuff like that. I'm gonna learn the right way. And I'm like, I could bring that to the church. Uh-oh. And so what ended up happening there is they're like, yeah, hey, you know what? Like if you want to learn music and do the trumpet and then, man, bring it to the church, that'd be awesome, son. I mean, for sure, go for it. And so I did do that. And I started to play the trumpet at school. I didn't do it for a long time. I did it through 5th grade. I did it in middle school, which was 6th grade. I don't know that I did it in 7th, to be honest. Like my school music journey ended in high school for sure. Like freshman year, it was done. But it started that way. Ended up learning the trumpet and then really truly enjoying it. It was fun to be part of a team and to make something as a collective, right? Like I remember hearing the rest of the instruments and the flutes and the and then the clarinets that would just do this one thing, right? Alone, it would sound weird, but like all together as an ensemble, as a group, we were able to make music together, and that was the coolest thing. And a part of that too, me and my buddies were clowns, bro. What we would do, because obviously you have your sheet music on the little stand in front of you, and we would just sit there and then all of a sudden we would just like move the sheets of paper and kind of grab it and toss it. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what do you mean? Toss it? Yes, bro. We would toss it. And so we didn't know what was next. And so we'd be sitting there thinking, okay, well, shoot, got to wing it. You know what I mean? You got to wing because the paper went blank. And our band teachers were always real like it's got to be right. It's got to be perfect. Like they're real like intense about that. And so we'd start like messing up, and it was a fun time. We'd get like caught talking about I don't know what, and we missed our mark completely. Those were some of the funnest times that I've ever had. But that ended up translating to church. I ended up taking my trumpet to church, and at the time we were in Bakersfield, in Little District. Again, all of these little district, all these names, you guys are gonna come to know all these things. I'll end up talking about literally my entire life story, so it'll make more sense as you guys tune into more episodes. But anyways, we were in Little District. I show up with my trumpet thinking, okay, cool, I'm hot shit, you know what I mean? Like I've been doing this, I'm trumpet 1 at school, bro, you know what I mean? We were reading papers, bro, you know what I'm talking about, the boy's that dude, I remember going, and that was the first time that I was exposed to like music by ear. I'm like, bro, what? And we were doing a super simple song. For those of you guys that know, Cristo Yo Te Amo in G major. Easy song. Cristo Yo Te Amo. Dun, dun. It's like, bro, like it's like the super simple song. Obviously, it can be more intense, but we were not doing it that intense at the time, that like complex. And I remember there was a buddy by the name of Ivan, amazing guy, bro. Ivan, man, dude, super awesome. My trumpet partner, dude, for many years. And he didn't even have a trumpet. And so I show up with the trumpet thinking, okay, let me see how I can contribute to this noise that we got going on in here. You know what I mean? And then Ivan didn't have a trumpet. Hey, and I'm like, you know what? Feel free to use mine, dude. Like, let's see what you got. Uh-oh, he starts playing that song. I'm like, how's he like, where'd that come from? And he's not looking at no paper. I'm like, what's going on here? And then he's like, hey, dude, it's super simple. You want to try it? And I said, bro, what? Like, okay. And I remember like, I couldn't grasp the idea. Like, what do you mean? You just like remember that in your brain? Because I was so used to having my sheet of paper in front of me. I know what note's coming up. I know where we're at. We're counting. We're all at the same spot. And it's like, you can literally read what's next. And so I remember thinking, okay, I tried it. I'm going to try to play the song, and I couldn't. And it's funny because it's a super easy song, and I just could not do it. I remember that day saying, I'm never coming back. I'm never going to do this. This is not for me. This is not for me. Never coming back. But one thing about your boy is that when it comes to a challenge, your boy's real persistent and your boy's real stubborn. So I didn't quit. I didn't stop. Although I said I was gonna. I was like, this is dumb. I don't like this. And we were preparing for an event. I mean, we were preparing for a grand opening, I think, of Big District, which was like, it was two little like office complexes, little office spots put together. We were just in one, but the church grew, so we were going to a second one. Again, I know that I'm saying these little details, assuming you guys know it, and I know you guys don't right now, but hey, who knows? This might be an episode you guys come back to. But anyways, yeah, dude, we were preparing for something. I'm like, I'm never gonna do this again. And then I remember I remember actually quitting for a little bit, to be honest. Like I didn't go back. I didn't go back to the next practice because the next time that I went was in Big District. It was already, we were in a different like building, a different location at that point. I think I kind of took like 6 months off where I was like, it's just not for me. I'm not going to do it. And I remember when I came back, I said, you know what? It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult because I remember what it was last time, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And so I went. God damn, bro, the song was even harder. Talking about I'm like, dude, we just came from a song that was Cristo yo te amo, and to the song I mean, we were turned, bro. And so I was like, dude, what the freak? But I told myself I'm not gonna quit though. I said I'm not gonna do it, and I didn't. I did not quit. I kept it going, and I'm very grateful for many. There's many people, man, that have helped me along my journey, but I'm grateful for Ivan and Freddie. Those are two brothers. They're literally brothers, that came from Oaxaca, Mexico, dude, and they were awesome, dude. They helped me with my journey. They taught me how to do it, how to memorize, just do this, do that. And when they saw potential in me, they let me explore that. They said, hey, you know what, Junior, you go ahead and do the high octave. Try it. Go for it. They would do it, and they were the ones that would do it because they were the ones who knew how to do it. They're probably like in late 20s at the time. I'm probably like in man, bro, I'm probably like in middle school. Whatever age you are in, like 6th grade, maybe 7th grade, whatever age you are in that time is how old I was. And they really helped my journey in building that confidence. And it's funny because there's a lot of times that like I was real talented, but there was a lot for me to learn. I remember there's pictures of me when I'm playing the trumpet, and here, let me go to so I'm right here playing, and then you see my eyeballs looking off to the side, like, because I was looking at their fingers, like, what are they pressing next? Hey, you know what's crazy though? For any trumpet players out there, I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But like, how can you actually like see their fingers? Right? And like, I'm looking at their fingers as a cheat code. Like, but we're playing in real time. I must have been so delayed. Like, I mean, damn, that must have sounded, I don't know. But I like to believe that I was really fast at it. Like, it actually worked out for me. But yeah, so they helped me with that journey, and I ended up continuing on. I stopped playing at school again in middle school because it was the total cliche. I was playing football, and the band teacher was like, hey, I know you're playing football and everything, and in halftime though, we have a performance and we need you at that performance. And I'm thinking, I mean, Mr. I don't know if I should say his name. I'm not going to say this one, I guess, because I mean, I don't know him like that. But I'm like, Mr. Sir, I can't be there for the performance on halftime because I need to be like adjustments in football at halftime. I can't do that. And there was a big old conflict, like, well, you have to be, if you want to be part of the band, you gotta be here. And the football team is like, hey, come on, Steve, like, you need to be here for, come on, dog, we're in the middle of a game, damn it. And I could see both sides of it. But what I ended up doing was I told my band teacher, I'm like, hey, you know what? I can't be part of the band. Like, but I would love to be your, like, I'll love to be your TA, like your teacher's assistant for the period. Like first and second period is when band like practiced and stuff. Like the main concert band and jazz band did first period or 0 period. And then whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Let me be the TA so I can at least be exposed to the music. I can sit in and play for fun, for I can learn, because I knew that like my focus was for trumpet was outside of school. I didn't really care to accelerate and like grow and learn in school. It was really more outside of school that I was like trying to learn. And that way, like, in the performances, like, you guys are not counting on me. Like I'm just kind of, I practice with you guys and have fun with you guys, but when it comes to showtime, that's y'all. And I remember thinking, like, I mean, because there was marching band, which did the halftime of the games, and there was concert band, which would do like the Christmas festival, and they would do their thing. And like, oh man, like the concert band would do like the inside the little theater hall that we had. They would do those performances, and I'm like, can I just do that? Or like the jazz recitals that happen, can I just do that? Nope, you got to be part of all of it or none of it. So I said, I'm gonna be part of none of it, Pop. All right. And so that's kind of how that my music journey ended at school there, because I ended up, I mean, I did the elective, but then he started failing me because of my, like, they're like, oh yeah, like your performances are pretty much like the exams, like how you do in your performances, we determine your grade. And he didn't tell me that. So I remember one time getting a report card, and my parents are like, what's going on here? Why do you have an F in band? And I'm like, why do I have an F in band? I'm like, what the freak? I thought I had that figured out. I thought it was like, hey, you're a teacher's assistant. You don't really got to participate. So you're chilling. And then the band teacher, is kind of just salty about it. Like the real stereotypical, like, here's the band guy, football guy. They don't like each other. Football coach, band teacher. It's just the whole thing. So he was failing me. And I'm like, hey, that's not right, bro. Like what? Like, that's affecting me. That's affecting my livelihood. So I said, you know what? Nah, none of that. And that's where that ended there. What's funny though, is that where it really accelerated for me in the trumpet was outside of there in church. That's when we started traveling like left and right. I'm talking like we would take off sometimes Wednesday. Hey, Wednesday evening, everyone meet up at 4 p.m. and we're gonna all together, the whole band. We're gonna fly to the air. We're gonna drive to the airport, fly off to somewhere, do a sound check and a show on Thursday. And then we're going to go somewhere else on Friday and do an event there. And then Saturday, we're doing an event, flying back Saturday night to be here at home for Sunday church. And then Sunday after church, we're going to go somewhere, and we're going to go somewhere else to do music and to preach the word and all that good stuff. And man, my life was so busy for such a long time doing that. And I'm so grateful for that experience, because I truly have got to see the world. I mean, I got to see the world by doing that. It was incredible. I mean, the countries I've been to: Africa, Tanzania, Peru. Like, I mean, dude, everywhere. I was about to say some places I probably shouldn't say. This podcast is gonna be crazy. But yeah, dude. I mean, it was quite a time, dude. It was quite a time, and that happened for a long time. And even after that, traveling different places to teach other brass sections about what I've learned. And I feel like when it comes to the skill of playing the trumpet, I think I'm pretty good, but there's definitely people that are much better than me. And I don't feel any weird way it's like saying that, you know what I mean? There's definitely people that are way more skilled than I am, and that's beautiful. But where I really accelerated was just knowing the sound that was needed for whatever song or project that we're working on. I would get the brass teams up to speed beautifully, and it was a great time, dude. It was a great time. Since then, now I don't play too much trumpet, but that was definitely a huge part of my life. And it was funny because as I'm preparing for this podcast, I was thinking about it, because like I said before, this podcast has been something that I've wanted to do for an extremely long time. And I just haven't done it for whatever reason. I mean, I don't have a reason. I just was slow to do it, I guess, but we're here now. And what was cool is I remember before we went and started traveling the world, because it wasn't just me, obviously there was the rest of the band, our drummer, Mark, bass player, Mike, Josh on the guitar, Paul on guitar, Manny on the keys. Bro, man, we bonded so beautifully, dude. That was a wonderful set of years. But I remember that me and Mark, the drummer, super close. Mark, love you, bro. Do work. I remember that there was a moment there that we would be playing our games, and it was distracting us from locking in and focusing on the music part of our lives. And I remember, it's a funny story. We were sitting there talking one time, and we said, you know what, bro, I think I'm gonna sell my console, dude. I'm gonna get rid of that because it's distracting me. I'm not practicing when I should be practicing. I'm just on the game, dude. I'm having a great time on the game. and we both made the decision. I told him, I don't know who did it first, but one did it and the other said, you know what, F it, I'm gonna join you in that. We sold our consoles. It was kind of nutty, and we started locking in. And in a similar way, I think that the same thing happened here, where I'm like, dude, like I want to do this podcast. I want to put my videos out. I know that there's more that I can be doing than what I'm currently doing. I mean, look at this. And that's like, I have, camera 1, camera 2. You ready? Camera 3. I'm just kidding. It ain't connected yet. Right. But I have all the gear to make this possible, and I've been had it, and there's more that I could be doing, and I just haven't done it. And I'm thinking, well, why, bro? And I was reflecting on myself, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, dude, it's just because I'm just chilling, bro. Whenever I have the time to chill, I want to chill, dude. I want to kick back, relax, throw on the game to watch, right? Want to watch the Lakers, the Dodgers, Patriots play. I want to play the video games, play some 2K, because, hey, your boy drop any one of y'all off on 2K, respectfully. If you want to play with me, let's get some W's. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all want to challenge me? Where's the smoke at? You know what I'm talking about? And I told myself, I'm like, you know what, bro? I have to set aside that like just want to just hang out, just chill, bro. Golly, I want to just hang out, just chill. Life's been crazy enough. I said, nah, bro, like I got to cut that out and let's grind. Take some time to grind and do that. And similar to that time where me and my boy Mark sold our consoles to lock in, and we ended up traveling the world with music. That's what we're doing here. Background Noise Podcast is officially off the ground. That's it. Can't say nothing about it. It's officially off the ground. Guess what? In this room, there's no distractions right now, bro. You know what I mean? No distractions. And we're getting this. We're going underway. We're doing this thing. Yeah. One thing that I'm gonna say real quick as I'm like talking and just kind of yapping and stuff. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to contribute to the podcast, please feel free to do so. The best way to do it is by going to @BackgroundNOISE on Instagram. DM your questions there. Comment your questions. Obviously, right now I just started the page, so anything you guys write and post is gonna be really obvious for me to see. But do write, like, DM your comments, your questions, whatever it is that you want to know or learn about me or my journey or whatever else there @BackgroundNOISE on Instagram. That way you guys can feel involved in this podcast. You know what I mean? At some point soon, I'm going to open up a PO box. That way, if you guys want to send me some stuff that I can like talk about and review and do all those things, we can do that. I'm even thinking is if you guys have any brands, bro, if anybody out there that does music, that does graphic design, that does anything you guys want to contribute and be part of it, feel free to do that. You know what I mean? Feel free to contribute to the podcast. You know what I mean? All right. So anyways, I've kind of been yapping. I don't even know what I've said so far, but hey, that's great. It's part of what the podcast is. I have some questions that I've had my favorite AI ask me. Oh, effing lit. Let's go. See baby over here clutching up right now, talking about, hey, you've been yapping for this long, my boy. Wrap it up. No, I'm kidding. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. But yeah, like in an effort to like get to know me better, I've had my AI assistant here tell me, give me some questions that I can answer for you guys. That way you guys can get to know me better. So number one, it says, why did I feel like now was the right time to start a podcast? Have you guys ever heard of that one quote that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago? And the second best time is today. That's it right there. Goddamn, bro. You know what I mean? That's it. Walking off the podcast right now. I'm kidding. Yeah, dude. Like, why did I say now is the time? Because right now is the time. That's it. There's no waiting, no planning. I'm the type of person that I like to analyze things and think about the potential outcomes, and then take those factors and see how I can make things better. And in here, I'm doing all the equations. I'm trying to figure things out and perfect things when it's bro, in reality, do and figure out along the way. And so that's why I just started recording now. Right now is the best time because right now is the moment that I'm living in. So that's why right now is the best time. What was the moment I realized I had something to say, even if I didn't know how to say it yet? You know what, dude? That's honestly an interesting thing, dude. Growing up, I remember one time I was on the road with my dad, and we had some important people with us. I don't remember who they were, but they were chopping it up with my pops. I was sitting passenger, and my dad was driving, and we had some folks in the back. We had like an SUV, like a truck, and I remember I just wasn't really saying anything. And like growing up, I wasn't really vocal growing up, dude. I was a really quiet kid. I was the kid that was like shy. I would hide behind my mom whenever someone wanted to see me, like, oh, hi, me, huh? I'm hiding behind my mom. I don't want to, I ain't with all that. I was the shy kid. And I remember that time driving with my pops. Those dudes were like, hey man, your son don't really say too much, eh? And I remember my dad saying like, nah, man, he's a man of few words. And I remember feeling that gave me a lot of power. I said, yes, sir. I'm a man of few words, but when I speak, ha! You know what I mean? But with all of that said, I feel like I have spoken into lives of few people, into the lives of a few, but those people that I have spoken into have been greatly impacted by my words. And that has made me feel like, man, dude, like I might have a message for the masses. You know what I mean? It might not just be for one person. You know what I mean? It might be for the masses, and why not see? Why not see if that is the case? Now, one thing that I will say that is my truth. You know what I mean? I remember one time at church, when we had church in Bakersfield, we invited a prophet over by the name of Cliff Bell. Now, bear with me, everybody. Listen to me speak. I remember he came, and I'm thinking, bro, I mean, come on, dog, a prophet, someone who hears directly from the Lord. Can I keep it a bean with y'all? Can I really be honest with you guys? I mean, look, I know that a lot of my audience might be some church people that are just kind of watching, a lot of watchers. By the way, I see my analytics on my Instagram. You know how many views come on, bro. I'm gonna go to shot one. You know how many views my Instagram has right now? Look at this. To make this make sense, 18.8 thousand views on my page, bro. And you know what I mean? So anyways, I know that a lot of you people here that are watching my stuff are church people that are probably watching me like, what's going on with him, bro? I was the pastor's son, and I got earrings and a nose ring, and what the freak? And I've even had comments like, man, I remember when the glory of the Lord was upon your face. Fellas, let's talk real estate for a second, because if you're thinking about buying a home or an investment property, you need somebody who actually has your back, not someone who's just trying to make a sale, someone who keeps you protected throughout the entire process. And that's exactly why you should work with Frania Lepe. She's a Houston realtor who takes your security seriously, financially, and legally. She makes sure you understand every step, every number, and every piece of paperwork, so you never feel lost or taken advantage of. She's big on transparency. She'll tell you what's a good deal and what's not, and what traps you should avoid. And whether you're more comfortable in English or Spanish, she's fully bilingual, so nothing gets lost in translation. No surprises, no hidden terms. Whether you're buying your first place or upgrading to something bigger, Franny makes sure that you move confidently and safely. She keeps the process smooth, clear, locked in from start to finish. So if you want a realtor who treats your money and your future with the same care she'd give her own, contact Frania Lepe. Her is at Real Estate with Frania on all platforms. That's at Real Estate with Frania on all platforms. Secure the right place with someone who's really in your corner. Let's go. Listen up for a second. If you're planning to tie the knot, whether it's a big wedding, something low key, or even last minute, let's just do this, you need an officiant who keeps the ceremony smooth, personal, and actually enjoyable. That's where Manny Matrimony comes in. He's a professional marriage officiant based right here in Houston, and he brings that perfect balance of personality and professionalism. No awkward scripts, no boring energy. He works with you to build a ceremony that feels like you. And here's the best part nobody tells you. A great officiant is the difference between a ceremony that feels stiff and one that feels meaningful and fun. And that's what makes it unforgettable for everyone. He handles everything from personalized vows to making sure your paperwork is squared away. And if you need him outside of Houston, he can travel too, just a small additional fee. So if you're ready to secure your wedding day and lock in someone who will make the moment count, hit him up at 661-800-8654. That's 661-800-8654. Don't wait until the last minute. Dates fill up fast. If you're watching this video and you're looking to advertise your brand, hit up seventhaura online at gmail.com so that we can get your brand out there to the masses. With this platform, your brand will reach hundreds of thousands and even millions of people. So reach out, seventhaura online at gmail.com to get your brand out there. Let's go. Okay, I might have lost my train of thought just there. But here's the thing. Okay, so here comes Cliff Bell, and we're talking about here's a dude that hears directly from the Lord, and man, his the Lord uses him greatly and mightily and all this stuff, and I'm thinking amazing. I mean, amazing, but I'm kind of skeptical. Can I be honest? Are we sometimes like that? Now, what I remember, what gave me what gave me for real the like, okay, I'm willing to hear, was that my parents met him because they went to an event at some church where he was there, and he's praying to the people, and they're just kind of just chilling towards the back, like I don't, they're just doing their own thing, and then he calls them out directly, and he says, you guys have been struggling in your marriage. Oh, I'm talking nobody knew that at the time. I mean, if you guys know my life story, damn, that cat's out the bag. You know what I mean? Damn, that cat's out. There's a whole thing. But at the time, I'm thinking, whoa. See, my parents we grew up extremely private. Extremely private. So that was not out. That was for no one to hear. Like the only people that really knew that was obviously my immediate family, my sisters, and my close folks, like my cousin Andrew, Paul, like Mark, the people that were real close to us. They knew that, but no one else did, bro. Like that was in house. You know what I mean? So when he said that, and he went into some extra details that I was like, okay, he's got my ear. I'll give him the opportunity of to let me see what he has to say. And so he came to the church, and I remember asking him, because he was in the office with my parents. My parents were the pastors, right? So they were kind of hosting them and stuff. And I remember walking in, and I said, so you hear from God, huh? He's like, yes, sir, I do. And I said, I mean, what's that like? Like, does he just like, do you literally hear his audible voice? I mean, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? What is it like? And he's like, that's funny that you say that, it's funny you say that, but it's like, he's like, no, I don't hear his audible voice. Because I'm trying to find out, like, bro, like, what do you mean, dude? Like, how can you, like, what is that like? I don't know what that's like. God don't use me like that. So I don't know what that's like. And he's like, when I am in the spirit, it's kind of like what I now know is like flow state. He's like, you kind of just, you're so connected in your daily life with God that when it comes time for God to show up, you're so locked in that it's like a flow state. You just feel like you're not in control. You're just letting the Lord use you as a vessel. I'm like, okay, great. I mean, that wasn't the answer I was looking for. I wanted to know, like, yeah, dude, like we chit chat all the time. You know what I mean? I wanted to know. I was young at the time, especially, and even now, bro, I'm curious, bro. I'm a guy who has questions, bro. What are we talking about? And so I'm like, okay, whatever, But again, I'm like, but he's got my ear because he exposed my parents with their problems, and damn, nobody knew about that. And so I'm like, okay. And I remember in the service, check this. He's ministering to the whole service, is our Sunday service, and then he stops to give us a word, us as in like the pastoral family, and he goes and speaking over the trajectory of the church, and like what the Lord has great things, yada yada. He goes, and then he starts to go individually to all of us, like the kids and my mom. And I remember he told me, he says, Junior, you have doubts about what the Lord is going to do in your life. He said, your mission is not going to look like your dad's. And you've questioned that. Oh my Lord, bro. You know what's crazy about that, by the way? I'm like, this dude's putting me on spot in front of everybody, dude. Yeah. I'm like, dude, no freaking way. Like, no one did, because no one knew that. No one knew that. Side story, I'll get into this on a different episode. Super side, like condensed version of this wrap up. When I was like little, bro, less than 10 years old, because 10 we went to Bakersfield. I said, my parents, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be like my dad. Oh, they took that and ran. I had to be the pastor of the church and forever. And I'm always like, man, I don't know that I want to be the pastor, And that was something that I like lived with growing up. And anyways, so at the time he says, you've questioned whether or not your ministry is going to look like your father's, and it's not. And so one, how do you know that? Two, it gave me comfort, as the word of God should do. Right. And so he tells me that he's like, you'll have success in the church, of course, but you'll have success outside of the church. You'll have success in corporate and out there. And dude, I mean, because of the way that I grew up, that was a word, bro. That was a word of the Lord for me, dude. That was like, whoa, I want to hear more what he's got. Like, what else can you tell me, dude? And I remember he told me once, and he told me like later after the service, we were in the church, and he's like, you know what? He didn't call me Steven, but he's like, you know what, Steven? He said, I see many people viewing you on their screens. I see you on screens, on TVs of all sizes, phones, tablets, whatever, TVs and stuff. I see people watching you and seeing you and hearing you. And I remember at the time thinking like, I don't know what that means, dude. Like, yeah, being the pastor, at that time thinking like, oh, I don't know, like think about church and Joel Osteen. Oh, you're on the, you're on TV and stuff. I thought maybe that, and as I've lived through my life, I've tried to connect those dots. And the only reason that I've kept his like words to me at such a high value was because of how God was able to use him to reveal about my parents' struggles, which I'm like, oh. And then when he said the word to me in front of the congregation, it was one that was deep, dude. Like, I didn't vocalize that, dude. I didn't talk about how I was struggling with the fact that like everyone told me how I had to live my life. Everyone told me that I had to be the pastor's son. Everyone told me that, oh no, like él es un hombre de la obra. That's it. You're un hombre de la obra. And I'm thinking, oh man, bro. So as this dude comes around and tells me, no, you're not. Dude, for me that was freeing, and it sparked an intense curiosity, dude. And so to answer this question, my handy dandy AI assistant, what makes it pause. When was the moment that I realized I had something to say, even if I didn't know how to say it, bro? It was then. For me, I felt that, and I'm like, dude, like, whoa, for the first time ever, I felt like, whoa, like someone knows my internal struggle. And dude, like maybe for someone else that would not have been as big of a deal, but for me, for whatever reason, it was, dude. And so hearing that made me feel like, you know what? Yeah. At the time, I wasn't doing YouTube. I wasn't doing anything with videos, but I'm like, maybe I do YouTube videos. I don't know. Like, that's probably what that sounds like. And maybe I should have, bro. To be honest, I should have been, bro. I should have been doing that, right? But now it's this, right? At this present moment, the day that I'm living, this is like, I have an intense feeling, a passion feeling towards this that I'm doing, even though it's just a podcast. And yeah, I'm talking about the depth and oh my gosh, and how God this and all that. But this isn't going to be like a super profound podcast. Not all the time, at least. Like, it's going to be fun. We're talking about dumb topics, talking about people of every walk, bro. Not just people that are in the walk of the Lord, bro. Like, we're to talk to everybody. I want to hear everyone's life, everyone's heart. You know what I mean? But that was the moment. That was the moment that gave me another option. And that was liberating. That was freeing. So that's the answer to that question. What am I hoping this podcast becomes, and what am I not trying to make it? Well, damn, bro. I don't even know what it is. No, I'm kidding. I hope this podcast becomes a place that people feel free to talk their truth. You know what I mean? A place where people can speak their truth, and a place of no judgment, dude. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I mean, I hope to build this up to be a good, a strong platform, not just to get people's voice out, but, for myself to have something that I'm proud of. That's what I want this to be. What I don't want it to become is something ultra rehearsed, something that's fake, something that I'm like, oh, I got to do another one. Hell no. That's what I don't want it to be. I just want this to be a place where people can speak can tell their stories. Who's this podcast for? Any of y'all, man. I mean, for everybody, dude, everybody. Like, cause again, I want to have everybody and anybody on this podcast. There's like no specific demographic I'm looking to reach. I want people to be able to just be welcome and be here and have a great time. What scares me about doing this publicly You know what? Look, that question is a fantastic question because for me, like I kind of alluded to before, I'm the kind of person that wants to think about all the factors, think about all the things I need to think about. And like, okay, yeah, so if I do the angle like this and the camera like that, but what about if I want this camera angle? So maybe I add another one for that. And maybe I do this and maybe I do that. It's like, bruh, just go. And then about publicly, oh my God. Can I just say this real quick? Look, let me get this. Let me get a tight shot real quick. Let me say this real fast to the camera. Me and Vanessa, who you will. Okay, let me see. Let me not cover myself. Okay, here we go. Me and Vanessa have spoke about this a lot. Vanessa, my sister. We said if we didn't give a damn about public perception, we'd have been made it already. With all the damn drama that we've gone through in my family, oh my God. I mean, my parents going nuts on each other, right? The move to Houston and how it started, how it was, and how it became, all of the family issues and the family drama and personal issues and personal drama. Man, we've had the opportunity to capitalize on that, and we haven't. Um, what was the question? See? Oh, so what scares me about doing this publicly? It's that, dude. I mean, for my entire life, I mean, I grew up into a family that was real guarded, dude. Like we were real like sheltered for one, and then like, dude, we never had nobody over the house. You know, I did a little bit, but like as in general, we weren't able to like go and stay over people's houses and like, oh man, pizza party. And we're going to go to the bowling alley after school to celebrate, you know, so-and-so's birthday. I was never able to go to those things. You know what I mean? Like we were so guarded and so whatever. And so naturally growing up, that has made me become an extremely reserved person. And what I present to people out there is not truly who I am. Whereas on this podcast, I'm giving y'all the bread and the meat and potatoes here. That this is who I am. You know what I mean? When I'm at work, for those of y'all that know me from work, I'm a certain way. You know what I mean? When I was at church, I'm a certain way. You know what I mean? But very few people know who I am. And so the fear or whatever, I mean, I don't really have a fear. That's just really how the question was posed. But like the fear is like exposing to the world who I really am. You know what I mean? Which for a long time, that fear alone has prevented me from a lot of things, dude. Like there've been times where I have video and like vlogs per se of like intense moments, dude. Like let me just tease it this way. Let me say like I have video of like family members. No. Should I say it? Oh man, should I say it? Chat. What are we doing? Chat? Are we live? We're not live right now. This is a pre-recorded podcast. I mean, let's just say, I mean, family members going to jail. I mean, talking about there's some video footage of incriminating acts. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get into any of that, but yeah, it's just about revealing myself to the public. That's kind of a scary thing. What excites me more than it scares me? Pass on that question. Come on now. Have y'all ever seen the movie? It's the one with Jack Black and Michael Cera. I think that's his name. And it's like year 100, and it's about like the beginning of like humanity, like the Adam and Eve days, and then Jack Black's character eats an apple and like, oh no, that's the forbidden tree. You don't eat from that tree. And he's right there and he's like, ooh, and he bites it. He's like, I feel real knowledgey right now. He says, ask me anything. He's like, why don't snakes have legs? He's like, pass. Ask me something else. Super funny, dude. Year one. That's such a funny movie. A hilarious movie. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Guys, we're doing a pretty good job with this first episode. If there's any quiet moments, bear with me, bro. Like this is literally episode 1. I've never recorded a podcast before. So I really appreciate you guys for being a part of the journey, honestly. Like I really, really do. How I answer these questions rapid fire ish, because I think with these questions, by the time I'm done with these questions, that'll probably be the end of episode 1. Oh, okay, cool. I got it. Yeah, let me check. I'm gonna be checking too. I made a post, a little late to be fair. I probably should have done it last night, but I made a post for you guys to ask questions. I'm gonna get to that at the very end. So yes, we're gonna answer these rapid fire questions here. We'll look onto the on the gram to see if anybody has any questions there, real quick, and then we'll keep it moving. Okay. All right, here we go. It says, how would I describe myself without listing job titles? I mean, I wouldn't think about listing job titles. Y'all ever heard that quote? Like, oh man, they asked some lady, like, what's your dream job? She's like, honey, I don't dream of a job. Period. So without listing job titles, I ain't listing job titles. I ain't with all that. I would say I would describe myself as a dreamer. I think that I'm a fantastic dreamer. I'm an encourager, and I feel that I make people feel accepted. I think I would describe myself that way. Now, a 2026 trait. Well, you know what? No, we've been intentional. We've been intentional about this. End of 2025 trait leading into 2026. I'm a dreamer, but I'm a doer. We get shit done around here. Can I say that word on YouTube? I'm pretty sure I can. I've said worse. What has stayed consistent about me since I was younger? Compassion, my ability to feel with people, to relate to people. When people are talking to me about their stories, I'm genuinely interested. Well, when people tell me about hardships, I feel what they feel, to the most that I can. I think that's been the same since I was little. That question is pretty interesting because, the way I kind of briefly went through my story, a lot of my life I felt handicapped, to be honest. What's something people often misunderstand about me? I think it's this second phase of my life that people have really, really misunderstand. I think that I kind of alluded to that earlier, saying that I got like 20,000 views on my Instagram, which for some people that's a ton. For other people, it's like, why are you trying to flex that? That's not even a lot. I'm not saying it to flex. But what's misunderstood about me is this new part of me, the expressive side of me, like the jewelry, the nose piercing, and the crazy haircut, and the fact that I slashed my eyebrow, and these other things. I don't know. For some reason, people think that that's me being rebellious, or that's like what happened to you? You know what I mean? Why are you that way? And I think that it's the same that makes other people feel misunderstood. It's like I'm not trying to fit into the mold that you have of me. It's me, and people don't understand that. So I would say that, what? Oh, I already said that. When have I felt most like myself? You guys want to know the honest answer on that? That honest answer, I can't put the camera towards her, but it's my baby right here. My beautiful love, Frania, has made me feel the most like myself. Growing up, obviously having that like thing about me that's like, ooh, I don't know, like, ooh, I have to be the pastor's son. I gotta be perfect. I gotta be this and that. Not myself. I at church, but in the way back of my head, thinking all that stuff like, ooh, I don't know. You know what I mean? But with my love, my baby, she's, dude, like I've been nothing but my truest self, and she's loved and accepted me that way, and I'm grateful for that. So that's definitely the answer for that. Um. Oh. Let's see. When have I felt completely lost? I mean, there's been several moments in my life, right? But the first one that comes to my mind that I'll speak of right now, I remember it was actually here in Houston. I remember there was a moment there where kind of everything hit the fan and things weren't really working out the way that we had planned for Houston to work out. And I remember telling Judy, I said, you know what, dude, I'm gonna move back. I'm moving back to Cali, dude. This is just not it for me. Like I've come here, I don't know anybody here. All my cousins are having a great time over there in Baco. I want to be in Baco, just kind of chilling. Like all the time I've ever been there's only ever in church. Never any like church life balance. And so I'm like, man, bro, like, what the heck, bro? Like, this is whack. I'm out here in Houston, don't know nobody. I want to go back. That was the time that I felt most lost. Like, I was like, dude, what is this? Like, what's life? Like, I don't know anybody here. My entire life is over there. What do I do? I remember Judy said, she's like, bro, you haven't tried. You haven't tried to make friends. You haven't tried to make friends. Try, and if it doesn't work out, then get the heck out of here. Give yourself 2 months. Go nuts. And so I'm like, you know what? You're right. I haven't, like I'm just so reserved. I'm so okay being by myself. I'm like, whatever, So after that moment, I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm going to be more open, more willing to do things, and more willing to like go out and meet people and do things. And I know I just referenced her. But in that mindset, in that moment of my life, in that time, that's when I met my baby. And so my moment of feeling most lost ended up turning out to be a moment for me that was freaking spectacular, that I'm super grateful for. So on the other side of your greatest fear is your greatest joy. So know that. Okay, rapid fire questions. Holy smokes. Okay, this is good. Hey, this is good, y'all. I mean, I'm yapping. How about that? All right. When did creativity stop being a hobby and start becoming serious for me? I don't know if creativity's ever been serious for me like that. I mean, I try to keep it as a hobby, because the moment that you trade your hobby for something serious, it stops becoming a hobby, right? And it becomes a job, becomes work. And I guess you can say what I'm doing now is like me what does it say? Becoming serious. So because something is a hobby of mine doesn't mean I don't take it seriously. So this question kind of like tries to put you in a corner. So I guess I don't know if I answered that right, but like, you know what I mean? Like, um, I like this one. What does success look like now versus 5 years ago? 5 years ago, bro, I need, you know, 1 million subscribers. I need like 100,000 comments on each video, and I need a bunch of likes, and I need everybody to love me. Now, instead of 1 million views, I need 10 million. I need 200,000. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding, bro. What was the question, bro? I'm bullying now. What does success look like now? I mean, I don't know, bro. But for me, success, let me just answer it this way, bro. For me, success looks like me being able to have my time, but still produce for my family. That's it. I want to be able to do the things that I love and have my time, because what a lot of people don't, well, I think a lot of people do know this about me, is that I don't value none of that but my time, because this earth is finite, bro. Our time here is finite. We don't live on forever, bro. Like, we have a set time on earth and we're done. So you got me messed up if you think that I'm gonna spend all my time dedicated to some folks that don't even care for me like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I remember seeing this one graphic, and this graphic laid out a bunch of like it said this is the amount of time that you spend with people, the different people in your life at different phases in your life. And it says like, okay, you know, from 0 to 5, like your family, like mom, family or whatever, siblings, 100%, right? Whatever. And then as you go from like, you know, 5 to 12, it drops a little bit because then you start to go to school, and now you're with your, you know, people at school. And then from 12 to long story short, it ends up going into, okay, what about from 18 to 45? I'm thinking, damn, that's a big window, bro. And it says the majority, like, you know, 86% of that time is spent with your coworkers. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And don't get me wrong, bro. Much love for some of my coworkers there. You know what I mean? Anywhere and whatever. But nah, bro. Like, no, 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 no. I saw that graphic. I said, no way. I see a system. I don't want to be part of that system. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. Nah. Like, I want to be there if I choose to be there, but I don't want to need that. And I don't want to give 18 to 45, bro. That's prime ass years, bro. That's when you, bro, man. And then it goes to like, you know, what, I forget what the rest of it was, but I'm like, dude, hell no. I don't like that. That made me feel a type of way, dude. I was like, hell no, dude. Like, I need to be able to monetize the gifts that I've been given. You know what I mean? And hell no, bro. Like, I would rather, me and my baby talk about it a lot. We talk about how they say like, oh man, dude, like, for those of y'all that don't want a 9 to 5, that choose to start your own business, but yet I realize that you trading a 9 to 5 for a 24/7. And that's so true. But I'd rather do it that way. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, yesterday I was preparing for this podcast, cleaning up the space, getting my cables in order, making sure everything, you know, is looking right for the potty. And you know, as I'm there, when me and my baby on FaceTime, and we're talking about like, dude, look at us right now. She's over there working. She's working right now. You know, editing videos for her listings and stuff like that. Y'all seen the ad? If y'all buying homes, don't be like that, bro. Don't be no haters. And if you guys don't live in Texas, still reach out anyway. She can refer you guys to a great agent. And of course, we get a kickback. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta make that money on. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Let me read some more questions. I'm gonna check in a bit if Instagram has any questions for me. Again, damn, I think I set y'all up. Instagram, I'm sorry, I set y'all up for failure because I didn't give y'all enough time to write some questions in there. So there might not be any if or whatever. So we'll see. Who believed in me before it made sense? I like that question because I gotta shout out the people that have believed in me before it made sense, and that's literally the people that I'm surrounded by. I have a wonderful group of people that are around you, that are around me. Like, oh my god, of course my baby believes in me, bro. I mean, she's sitting here talking about she's so excited for me recording this. Before we're recording, she's giving me words of encouragement. I mean, and look, if you guys are looking at this clip, you know, years from now and this podcast is successful, it's like, oh wow, how cool. Yeah, great. I mean, we knew it was gonna happen. Nah, bro, I'm living in this present moment, and I mean, this is, I'm starting something from fresh, you know. And any little movement that I've done, my baby's been supporting me for that. Also got a shout out to my mom. My mom believes in me incredibly so, you know, like incredibly so, supporting me through all the little different chapters of my life. And I've been posting a bunch of random little, like, I'll post, you know, little shorts, TikTok reels and videos and reels and all this other little things. I'll be spamming the page, and there she goes, commenting on all my videos, my baby too, you know. But there goes my mom, and I'll tell my mom, like, Mom, you don't got to comment on everything. Like, that's so sweet, because I'll be like, hey, I'm, you know, trying to drive engagement, trying to like get y'all to comment and stuff, like, oh, what do you guys think? You know, what's your favorite, you know, this or that, you know, like, or the Patriots did this. And there goes my mom commenting about like, yeah, go Patriots, go crazy. And I'm like, like, man, that's crazy. So my mom, my sisters, you know, Vanessa, she's been super supportive of me and excited about the little things that I'm doing. And so definitely got to show love to the people around me for sure. Let me see. I'm gonna take a brief little moment to see. Man, yeah, there's a lot of questions for sure. I'm gonna check. Let's see. Let's see if we got any Instagram stuff. Look, I'm gonna say this right now as I'm looking through this, is that the Patriots, they finna win the bowl. You know what I'm talking about? They finna win the bowl. If y'all are watching this, when you guys are watching this, there's a chance they're eliminated, or there's a chance they're moving forward. So we'll see. I'm trying to waste time here. Let me see. This has been fun, by the way, y'all. I think episode 1 I was real nervous about, but okay, we got some questions. Go nuts. Okay, this is great, dude. I like these questions, everybody. Okay, chat, we're going nuts. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. So, oh, this is exciting. Okay. I want to end on the potty ones. I just wanted to see if they on the Instagram questions, but I want to see if there's any rapid fire that I can go. Baby, how much time have I been recording for? I'm okay, so okay. Okay, cool. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get any more questions from this. I mean, these are all really great questions, but we're ready for an hour. That was my goal, so I'm gonna kind of stop it there because, I mean, I gotta have content for the next one. I already gave you guys half my life story. Excuse me. You know what? That's cool. We've already been recording an hour. I'm gonna. Hey, I've seen podcasts before where it gets quiet, so y'all don't be. Hey, chill out. Okay. Okay, I like this one. What would make me proud a year from now? What would make me proud a year from today, which this is the very first month of the year, 2026. Welcome. What is it like over there? Because I'm in 2025 right now. What's this color of the sky right now? No, I'm kidding. What would make me proud is if I stay true to my schedule of posting on this thing. Regardless of the numbers that come from it, regardless of the subscribers and the view counts and all that stuff. Obviously that matters. Like, I'm not gonna say that I don't care about that. I do. But what's more important to me and what would make me proud of it's like if I can end 2026 saying, you know what? I shot every episode that I said I was gonna shoot. I posted every episode that I said I was gonna post. And now I'm living in that present day. That's enough. For me, that's enough. I would be more than happy with that. All right. moving on to the final segment, and that's going to be y'all's Q&A. Question number 1 is, were you ever a fan of any other teams before the ones that you have now? That is a spectacular question. So I'm going to say this for one. When it comes to baseball, hell no. Hell no. I have been a Dodger fan since the day I was born, bro. Like every one of my family, we bleed blue. You cut me open right now, blue's coming out. I don't give a damn. Blue is coming out. So Dodgers has always been a thing. I've never, ever wavered from that. That's probably my deepest connection to a team is the Dodger fans. But for those from LA, know what that's like. You know what I mean? And I hope, you know what, honestly, I hope Dodger fans that are from other, I'm sure from other states and stuff like that, I hope they feel that too. Like, I know that I'm in a different state now, but like, I mean, I was born and lived most of my time out in Cali. So, you know, I feel like I'm homegrown. But like for those of you guys that grew up out in other places and you guys are surrounded by fans of another team, but you're still rooting for the Dodgers, I hope you visit LA and feel what that's like to be a Dodger fan in LA, because it's something different. It's special, bro. It is so special. So for that, no. The next team, I would say football. Actually, yes. Actually, football has been quite a journey for me, to be honest with you. And that all started back on PlayStation 2, played Madden 07. Because me and my cousin would play that game. Shout out to Marky for one, who's my unofficial cousin, who taught me how to play the game, which in essence taught me the game of football. Video games have always taught me about the sports. When I want to learn a sport, I play the video game and you'll learn all the rules, all the things and all that stuff. Anyway, but you know, me and Andrew, my cousin Andrew, we would play the game and like just try to use whatever team, and we didn't know anything about the teams at all, but we would just think, okay, what looks cool. So what's funny is that a team that we really liked was the Cincinnati Bengals, funny enough. And the reason was because their logo, I think their logo was like a tiger like stripe thing, and it looked badass. And we're like, that looks sick as heck. So we liked the team just for that. We liked the Seahawks because the Seahawks were the cover athlete. The cover of the game was a Seahawks player, so that was easy to like that. But like it wasn't something that I was like fully like rooting for these teams and watching the games. Like watching games and doing all that has always been the Patriots. My best friend in middle school, Bobby, was a Patriots fan, and he's like, hey dude, like Patriots. And then our little league team, because I played football in middle school, was the like Freedom Patriots. And so it kind of just made sense. That year turned out to be the year that the Patriots went undefeated, lost in the Super Bowl, but them going undefeated throughout the regular season. And I'm like, I'm super new. And so as I would check on the score, oh, they won. Oh, they won again. Oh, they won again. So as like a new fan that hardly knows a sport, hardly cares, it was cool. It was like, okay, well, I mean, they win all the time. I mean, easy to root for this team. And then I stayed being a fan of the Patriots. And the only other time that that's kind of gotten like a little murky-ish was like once Tom Brady retired, and then there were the dark years that only lasted 5 years, baby. Because you know, for other teams that shit lasts like 30 years. The dark years, us is only 5, baby. Come on now, we back in contention, baby. You know what I'm talking about? But in those dark years, I'm thinking, I mean, I'm from Houston. You know, I lived in Bakersfield, small little town. You know, I'm in Houston now, big city. Why not root for the Texans? You know, only for the simple fact that they're local, you know, be able to go to the game and be surrounded by people that are fans of them and like go crazy. So I tried ish to be like a Texans fan, went to a game. It was the sorriest damn NFL experience I've ever had. Ass. It got me mad. I'm like, damn, bro. And then I'm sitting there watching the game in the stadium, and we got semi nosebleed seats, which in baseball it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Like if you sit high up in a baseball game or let me just say Dodger Stadium, it's not horrible. And for the Texans, I'm talking about, I should just watch this at home. I'm just watching the screen over there. I can get closer to the screen at home, bruh. And so that didn't really work out. And now we got Drizzy Drake, the schedule, Drake May, MVP May. Huh. So we selling high with the Patriots. Now basketball, that one I will say has been quite a journey. So I was obviously alive, semi-aware of when Kobe was playing, winning with Shaq and then winning with Paul Gasol. But I didn't care for basketball. Why? I don't know. Like obviously as a kid, you kind of go with what your pops goes with, or your mom, if your mom's the sports person. And my dad was a baseball watcher, never watched basketball, really never watched football. So I just wasn't, I don't know, like I was aware of the Lakers, but I didn't really care about the Lakers. And then like when I was like, okay, let me see, like what team do I like? What team do I like? Like Lakers, I kind of started with Lakers just default because I'm from LA. And then Anthony Edwards from Minnesota Timberwolves. Love Anthony Edwards, bro. Bro's mentality. Hey, clock this real quick, y'all. I will have Anthony Edwards on this podcast at some point in the future. Clip that. He will be on this show. But love Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. I semi try to go for the Rockets. I mean, I root for the Rockets. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. But I'm a Laker fan, bro. Just because I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. It's something about being from LA, being a Laker. I don't know. So yeah, there's the answer to that question. Great question. Next question is why background noise? Let me tell you why. Background noise. Because there's another podcast name that I try to use for this, and that's just taken by some scandalous ass folks. But I'm talking about, say what? Like, there was another name that I had that I went and go search, like, hey, like, let me see if this is a thing out there, and like, if it's a super established potty, I'm not gonna take it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna try to be the Joe Rogan Experience, bro. Like, what? That's already an established podcast. So I'm looking it up to try to do my research. I don't know how much of what I saw I can say, but I'm talking about little like personal genitalia rings is what was a topic of conversation. And I'm like, bro, the last thing I want is for y'all to try to find me and you guys search that and like click on that episode thing. Y'all, that was weird. Like that wasn't even me. And background noise, I don't know. Like I kind of like, I have a vision. Let me say had, because I don't know what's going to come of this, but I had a vision to have like a 24/7 stream of my best videos, my best podcasts, my best live streams, game clips, and all that stuff playing 24/7. The Seventh Hour Network Background Noise is the name of the channel type thing. And it's something you can have on listening to while you're getting ready for work, while you're waking up, while you're video gaming, you're just listening to me talk. Super cool. I love to listen to podcasts as I'm gaming, as I'm working out, as I'm driving. Like I listen as I'm getting ready in the morning. I love to just listen to podcasts as my background noise. So why not have background noise as the name of my channel? So, or as the name of my podcast. So that's kind of that inspiration there. Can you build a time machine so we can go back to the good old days for the weekend? Man, I would love to do just that, dude. If I can go back in time and live if I can go back and live a week of my life, that'd be fun, dude. I would totally do it. Why not? You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. Let me try to think what moment. That was, by the way, that was questioned by Marky. So it's gonna be a little bit about the music that we were talking about earlier, the music, traveling and stuff like that. I think I would go back and relive Peru. If I can go back in time and relive a moment in my life for a week, I would go back and live the Peru experience. So many core memories happened there. That was like when I'm not gonna lie, I felt famous. I was like, holy smokes, there was people taking pictures. Manny held a baby, goddammit. Someone handed Manny a baby. Are you kidding me? And we're sitting there talking, and there goes Manny. I look over at Manny, he's holding a baby. I said, bro, what is going on over here, bro? And it was funny because the security kept telling us, hey guys, please stay here. They would go and rescue us from the sea of people. Stay here where you're safe, whatever. Bro, we kept letting ourselves slip up, and all of a sudden you turn around. We were in the little safe zone, and all of a sudden we just slip out, and we're just talking to random people out in the masses, dude. It was so fun, dude. And then the ministry side of it, obviously, that's important. That was wonderful, dude. I mean, we're, as a band, locked in, dude. Super locked in. The one thing that I regret about Peru was that I didn't get my own room. And I chose to not have my own room. Just out of being like young and passive and like, ooh, is this scary? Whatever. I wish I had they had my own room for me, but I didn't accept it. So That would be one thing that I would change if I could go back and change that. Let me see if we have any other questions, or else we finna end this party right here where it stands. Okay, this question, the last question is, did I ever think that I would start a podcast? And the answer to that is no, I don't think so. I don't think that I had like plans on starting a podcast. But kind of like what I alluded to earlier about just my life journey and the trajectory of my life and all that stuff, and like how it came to media and all. The dude told me, I see you on screens and all this other stuff. I knew that at some point I was gonna do something involving cameras. And make, whether that's making YouTube videos, whether that's going live stream, or like what I'm doing now, I'm doing a podcast. I didn't know how it was gonna like reveal itself or like turn out, but it wasn't like, for example, like I had consciously made like, oh, I'm gonna do YouTube videos, or oh, I'm gonna stream, but making a podcast wasn't like I wasn't against it. I don't know, it just wasn't. Excuse me. It wasn't like on the forefront of my mind. So to answer that question, no, I didn't think that would be something that I was gonna do. But I'm glad that I'm here now. I'm glad that you guys have sat along with me this entire time. And honestly, let's give it up to everyone involved in the production of this very first episode of the Background Noise podcast. Dude, I'm grateful that you guys have been along this journey. Please stay tuned. It was important to me that the very first episode is done completely by myself. I needed to do that for me. Like, big trust. Obviously, I have important people around me that I would love to have be a part of my very first episode, and how that can be something meaningful. But even with that in my mind, I said, you know what? This episode, the very first episode, I need to do this for me on my own. It's a me thing. Let me get it done. And I did it. We did it. And you guys have been along with me throughout this journey. Definitely stay tuned. There's more stories about myself that I'm going to get into in future solo episodes or with other guests. There's stories of the guests that I'm going to be having on the podcast. My baby, my family, my cousins, friends, everything. We're going to have everybody on this podcast. But that is going to conclude the very first episode of the Background Noise podcast. So thank you guys for being around. Definitely subscribe to the podcast if you guys are not already subscribed. Follow Background Noise Party on Instagram to stay tuned with the clips, to be able to write your guys' questions in the Q&A section of the podcast. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. And yeah, I'm officially signing off. Camera 1, love you. Be great. Camera 2, stay creative, pursue your passions. And that's about all I have for you guys today, man. This is the Background Noise Party. I'm grateful to have you guys around. Stay tuned for more. That's me, Space City Steve, signing out.